What is up, guys, and welcome to the finale of F1 2020 Career Mode for Season 5. It comes down to this: myself and Max Verstappen separated by 12 points. However, if you're new to the series or you haven't been keeping up, the advantage is in Max Verstappen's favor. So basically, in this last race, we need to keep Max Verstappen off the podium in order to be a chance of winning this championship. That means that we have to win the race, and Verstappen can't be on the podium. So it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, we head into the last race in Abu Dhabi. I did a little sneak preview of that last minute upgrade, which we are sneaking in, and that is the ultimate tire wear upgrade. Almost a game-breaking upgrade we've seen in Season 2, which gave us a massive leg up on other teams. It's actually gone on the car in time for this race. It hasn't failed. It does mean we have less points to spend on next year's regulations, which means we're going to lose that part at the end of this race. I'm going all in to win this championship. We need every little advantage we can get. We need myself and Lando to fill out the podium, and maybe a Mercedes. Then, and only then, can we think about winning this championship. As you guys know, Daniel Ricciardo retiring at the end of this race. Unfortunately, the fairy tale was not able to come together in F1 2020. So we look ahead to F1 2021, which should only be coming out in a few months' time. That's where the legacy will be lived out. But anyway, here we go. Final race of the season. We head into practice. And Abu Dhabi is not a circuit that's gone well for me in the past. To my knowledge, I don't think we've actually won a race here in career mode before. We didn't do that. We hadn't won a race in Brazil either, up until the last race. So, history is bound to change eventually. Anyway, practice 1 didn't go so well for us on the timesheets, but we only did the track acclimatization run on the hard compound tires. We move into practice 2, where we're doing a long race run. I normally only do 3 laps here, so I would have got full points right then and there, but this is the finale, and we're putting in the extra work, much like we did in Brazil, to increase the pace, to increase the knowledge, and we'll have better data to look upon setting up our race strategy, and I'll also be more grooved into the track as well, doing extra laps. But yeah, that was practice 2, done and dusted. I did actually a couple of practice qualifying runs, and it put me at the top of the table by 0.2 over Vettel and Kvyat. I can see Max Verstappen is 1.1 seconds away, which is rather interesting. But yeah, big gains for Marduk Motorsport upgrade-wise heading into this race. We're not going to see the benefits of that until we get to the race itself. We will have lower tyre wear on our qualifying tyre, which will be nice. We've got enough resource points to do another consolidation upgrade, and that's going to be the ultimate drag reduction. So the car should be somewhat okay heading into next season. However, I am quite nervous about the amount of upgrades we're going to lose heading into Season 6. Okay, so here we go for qualifying. The crucial part of the weekend, the part of the weekend where we've not been strong. Obviously, we're going to get out of Q1. That's inevitable. P6, 0.5 away. Not a million miles away from Lando Norris, which is nice to see. Please leave a like, subscribe. I know that was a really weird place to chuck that in. But if you haven't done so already, what are you doing? You need to be subscribed to this channel to see this series and potentially a new series replacing this one. Oh, actually, yes. I'm going to do that now. So, I was going to do an update video about this, but I'm just going to straight up ask you guys, would you rather see Season 6 go ahead on F1 2020, or would you rather me, Benetton, lose this championship? No. The question is, would you rather F1 2020 career mode for another season, or would you rather F1 2012 career mode? A season of that. A season in which I haven't done since I started my channel 7-8 years ago. We can return to that game and we can have some fun. Let me know. That's the two options that I'm weighing up before we head into F1 2021. But yeah, that was a nice segue, a nice little distraction from the crash, which I don't really want to recognize there. That was weird. I guess the setup is maybe a little bit on a knife edge. It's a new setup that I'm running, 3.9 wings. It's actually an Australia setup. I couldn't find any nice new updated Abu Dhabi setups on time trial. They were all pretty old, and I didn't want to chance it. So I've been running with new setups, which seem to give me a little bit more pace. And with how, highly strung this career mode car is, high rear wings actually makes this car pretty fast. But anyway, this is Q2. This is my one and only run. I'm doing it on the medium compound tires because Lando was on the mediums, and I'm coming through the final corner now. I'm putting my entire championship on this qualifying run. We cross the line. Are we into the top 10 shootout is the question. Yes is the answer. Oh, we are through to qualifying 3 on the medium compound tire, much like we did in Brazil. That was a really big chance that we took, and it paid off for us once again. So we can run long in this race in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We've still got Q3 to negotiate. But I tell you what, guys, that's a massive weight off my shoulders to get through into the next session on that tyre. But anyway, here we go for qualifying 3 now. This is our banker run. Very important to get a really solid time in here so that it eases the pressure come the final run when the track is fully ramped up and raring to go. So we come across the line and we do a 1:28.4, which puts us on provisional pole position for the Grand Prix. Now, we have no chance of getting pole position. Are you kidding me? Lando Norris has just whacked in a 1:27.5. 9/10 on pole. Thanks for coming. GG. That's, well, at least the front row sorted for Marduk Motorsport, I would say right there. I'm not sure why I'm bothering to go out again and set a time. I guess for me, this is really just trying to secure P2 at this point. But I've got to say, that's got to be a glitch time from Lando there. That is absolutely outrageous. We're gonna push hell for leather on this lap. Like I said, I don't want to be dislodged by Max Verstappen, who is right behind me in third, which is where I don't want him to be. But yeah, we're marginally up on our time. We should find a little bit of gains in the third sector. Hopefully, we're going to attack this triple chicane. Purple to the middle sector, which is nice to see. Really cheesing some of these corners. Lock up on the inside front, and we're 2.5 tenths up on our previous best. Not 9 tenths up, which is where we need to be. But I tell you what, 3 tenths up on my previous time, which was already pretty good in itself, is not too bad. But anyway, we go onto the hotel section, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous at this point. You really have to cut the chicanes very finely to make some lap time. I nearly track extended there at the second last corner. Up to the line. It's still P2. It's still P2. But we're only a tenth away from Lando in the end. Okay, so his first time has been deleted, or it didn't count, or Codemasters have somehow corrected it. This is still the same session, because my banker time is still there. Like, I can't do the exact time to 1,000th of a second. No one's that consistent. So, for whatever reason, the game has corrected itself and made Lando only 1/10 ahead of me, which I suppose seems a bit more normal. But in any case, it hasn't changed the order. Lando is still on pole, and it's nice to know that I'm not a million miles away from my teammate over 1 lap. So, there we go. It's a front row lockout for the team. Max Verstappen starting right behind us. Pressure. I need to win the race. I need to beat my very competitive teammate Lando Norris, who's been getting in my way the last 3 rounds in a row. And I've got to hope that the competition can overthrow Max from the podium. Sounds simple. It's definitely far from it.
Welcome to the Yas Marina circuit for the finale of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a track that's been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And so, for one final time this season, Anthony Davidson joins me in the commentary box.
Well, the winter break is looming once again. No doubt many of those teams already have their eyes firmly on next season. But there's still work to be done here. Still championship positions to decide, which can make a big difference to the prize money. So no one's going to be taking their foot off the throttle just yet.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday and will start from pole position, and Day completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Russell, Vettel, Gasly, Albon. They've taken a grid penalty, and Carlos Sainz, Ricciardo, Aitken, Lance Stroll and Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Antoine Hubert and Nick de Vries, Latifi, Schumacher, Matsushita and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
We're still in with a shot at the driver's title. It's down to this. Now go out there and come back a champion.
This is it then. 16 races. Many contentious moments over the course of the season. And it comes down to this last race. Lando, I hope that we can be a team today. So here we go on the grid for the final time. We're going to start mediums. We're going to go softs. And I'm probably going to go for the one stop, try and stretch it with our ultimate tire wear upgrades. I think that's the best way to go. So, here we go for the final time in Season 5, potentially the last episode on this game. We are underway for the finale, and it's not going to be easy to get these medium tires away off the grid. And as you can see, Bottas gets us round the outside, down into Turn 1. Max Verstappen trying to have a go as well around the outside of Turn 2. Doesn't quite work out there. Contact apparently with Max Verstappen, but no damage for either of us. And we're able to carry on with our championship fight. Ultimately, I want this race to be determined on track, in an on-track battle. But, you know, if I'm having a wheel-to-wheel battle with Max Verstappen, then I've already lost. I need to be ahead of him. I need to be battling the likes of Bottas. I need to be battling the likes of Lando. I need to be in the lead, and I need Verstappen to stay exactly where he is and off that podium. So, yeah, the task, I've got to say, is a pretty momentous one. A pretty monumental one that we need to overcome. We need to win the race, and on current pace, we're not quite there. Lando stretching away on the same compounded tire. This is the risk that we took by making this car even stronger into the last race. I had to back myself to beat my teammates, and as things stand, I can't even beat Bottas in a worse car. But thankfully, we've got a long way to go, and tire wear will come into this. I don't know what my teammate's going to do in terms of strategy. If he does the exact same as me, then we could well be in trouble. But I have a feeling that Lando is either going to use the hards on a one-stop, or he might even do a two-stop, like some of the soft compound runners are doing at this stage. And like a flash, we're already at lap 7. We're already coming to the end of the first stint for some of our competitors. In comes Bottas for the undercut onto probably what is going to be another set of mediums. I heard over the radio he is going to do a two-stop today, so it'll be interesting to see if that strategy pays off for them. It certainly will, if there's a late race safety car. And, you know, judging by my career modes, safety cars are pretty darn scarce around here, so we should be okay on that front. In comes Verstappen on the next lap. He's doing the overcut, which actually scares me a little bit because he's going to be faster. Oh, he's got a front wing change. Verstappen has damage of some kind, and that's going to set him back quite a few positions there as everyone came into the pit lane at the same time. He's going to lose spots to both the Ferraris, certainly going to be behind Albon as well, and maybe even Pierre Gasly in this Grand Prix. So with that front wing change, it's likely that Max Verstappen is going to be at the back end of the top 10, and I actually need that because on current on-track strategy and stuff, Lando Norris is going to beat me. It's going to be touch and go as to whether Valtteri Bottas beats me. So I'm going to be scoring 15 points in this race, and Verstappen is currently on the fringes of the top 10. So if I finish in second, then all Verstappen needs is 7th place to draw level on points. 6th place, and he's done it. But if I finish third, then that makes the equation even more tricky. He only needs 8th place, I think, for 4 points. So it becomes a bit of a minefield now. In terms of strategy, I am committing to the 1-stop. I've already given away the undercut to my competitors. Switching to a 2-stop would not be beneficial to us now. So here's the running order. Max Verstappen in P9. Lando Norris is quickly charging towards me on soft compound tyres, and is going to be a real threat for the rest of this race. But we have a yellow flag.
Power. Something's happening. I've lost power. Okay, we're looking now. Oh, big loss of power now. I got no power at all. Anti-stall. Something's happened. I lost power steering. I can't. I'm out.
This is huge. My teammate Lando Norris, and arguably the fastest car on track right now, is out of the Grand Prix. So we now inherit what could possibly be the effective lead of this race. It all depends on Bottas now and his tyre wear. He's on a new set of medium compound tyres, and the gap is 14 seconds. But we're getting towards my pit window. We are at my pit window now. So I'm essentially a pit stop's lead ahead of Bottas. And all of a sudden, the championship has now swung in my favour. That's the train that Max Verstappen is in. He needs to get to the head of that queue and ahead of that Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. He needs to get on the podium now, because I'm now winning this race, and I'm set to win this race. I can pit at any time now and make it to the end. In come the medium compound tyre runners, including Leclerc, Gasly, Albon, and one of the Red Bulls. I think that's Sebastian Vettel, as Max carries on for another lap. So this championship is getting very, very spicy indeed. Max Verstappen doing something different, and Gasly jumping two of his rivals there. That could prove crucial with all those guys holding each other up in the pit lane. And also now getting held up behind back markers at the late stage of this Grand Prix. So Max Verstappen is out in clear air at this stage doing the overcut, and he could well get himself back on the podium if he has a good in-lap here. So we've got 9 laps to go. In comes Valtteri Bottas. He's put on a set of hard compound tyres. In comes Max. What does he choose? Mediums. So Max Verstappen is not out of this championship fight just yet. We've got a slow car in the form of the Williams of Mick Schumacher. Hopefully that's not a safety car. I can ill afford one of those. He's going very slowly on the straight. Nothing as of yet, so I think we're going to be fine. So I think this is probably a good time to come into the pit lane now, get my soft compound tyres on, and go for that fastest lap. No!
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
The race has just been completely blown wide open with that safety car. We're going to see Max Verstappen and company catch up to the back of the queue and have an outside chance of contesting for this race once again. So here we go into the pit lane with 8 laps to go. This is timely for us in a way, because we're going to chuck on the soft compound tyres. I don't think there's going to be any problem with us winning this race. The problem arises with Max Verstappen being able to jump these 3 and then potentially have a shot at Valtteri Bottas on hard compound tyres, the 2 Ferraris, and who knows who else. As we rejoin onto the circuit, it's myself from Bottas, from Charles Leclerc, and I think the other Ferrari, George Russell, and then we have Max Verstappen down in P5. So, in order for Max Verstappen to win this race, he needs to gain 2 positions. Just 2 positions. And that right there is a visual representation as to my approach to the rest of this race. I am very much going to get on with it. I'm going to set some fastest laps. I'm going to pull away. Hopefully, I won't need to back up the pack or anything. that could be an emergency option because the DRS train can prevent overtake sometimes. But I'm going to get on with the job, and I'm going to let the AI take care of it themselves. Away we go for the final 7 laps of this championship. Who is going to win, me or Max Verstappen? Like I said, all he needs is 2 positions. Maybe less if he gets a fastest lap. But what are the chances of that happening? Anyway, here we go. The end of our first flying lap. The tyres were still a little bit cold, I won't lie. It is a fastest lap by some way. 1 minute 31.1. We go again on the very next lap, and this was a bit more of a complete lap as I could hook up the first sector with up to temperature tyres. DRS has crucially now been enabled, and this is where we're going to see the overtakes come in thick and fast. How consistent, how fast, how stable is Valtteri Bottas going to be at the front of that queue with hard compound tyres? Tyres in which that are going to be a second a lap slower than his very angry pack behind. Still, Max Verstappen remains behind the 2 Ferraris.
Use the best of your talent. We know how big it is. Use it.
And Max Verstappen will be highly motivated to get ahead of these guys. The championship is at stake. He's running out of laps, though. This is the running order of these 4. This is all that really matters at this point. I'm pushing on, doing my best. I've had no urgency to back up the pack just yet. As we head on to the last lap, I've just got to bring it home now. Gap is 5 seconds to Bottas, who is holding them station absolutely perfectly. You've got to say that Mercedes power unit is really coming in clutch with that straight line speed. But this is the last lap, last opportunity, last roll of the dice for this man, Max Verstappen, if he is to hold on to his championship lead, a lead in which he's had for so much of this championship. It really has all fallen away for him in these last 3 races. But it's not over yet, because here comes Charles Leclerc around the outside of Valtteri Bottas into the 3rd sector. If these 2 crash, it's game over, and Max Verstappen will be your champion. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen as the pack kind of settled back into its normal order. Valtteri Bottas in 3rd, Charles Leclerc up to 2nd, Max Verstappen crucially still in 5th place, where I need him to be. So it's going to be another championship, this one against all odds.
Fantastic drive, and it means your driver's world champion. What a result. Enjoy it.
Oh my God, we've done it. We have won another championship, a 3rd Constructors, a 3rd Drivers title, and Max Verstappen will be absolutely kicking himself. He's had 3 big opportunities to strike, to put this championship to bed, and he's missed every single one of them. I can't believe it. I can't believe we actually won this championship. In the end, some big factors went our way. Of course, strategy over these last few races. My teammate retiring today. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't retire and stayed out. It would have been very tense between myself and Lando, dueling it out for the win. In the end, we win by 4 points. And as well, that contentious front wing change for Max Verstappen. We'll have a look and find out what happened to him in just a moment. But we've won both titles after the major setbacks of that regulation change, which sent us back to a back marker. We're back on top in F1. But here it is. Here's turn 1, and this is the only place that Max Verstappen could have got damage. I had a look at his entire first stint, and there was nothing else except this. And even this, as an isolated incident, was nothing. There was no damage to his front wing. It looks immaculate. And it's still immaculate as he pulls into the pit lane for his first stop. So, yeah, that one really baffles me. Maybe Verstappen wanted to change his front wing out of desperation. He was losing pace to me in the first stint, so maybe he thought subconsciously he had damage and he wanted a new wing. But in the end, that 5-second extra time in the pit lane dropped him down to like 5th or 6th overall. If he would have kept his front wing, he would have been in 2nd in this race overall, and he would have won the championship. That is the story of Season 5. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and let me know whether you want F1 2012 or another season of this.